life's like a movie, 'cause mama keep falling in love. My life's like a movie, and I'ma keep smoking and drugs. My life's like a movie. She fucks with nothing but thugs. My life's like a movie.
Welcome back to the Why So Serious podcast. Brandon and Rashanii are back for another review today. Today we are reviewing The Equalizer. It's directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Denzel Washington, Martin Koska, Chloe Grace Moretz. A man believes he has put his mysterious past behind him and has dedicated himself to begin a new, quiet life. But when he meets a young girl under the control of ultraviolet Russian gangsters, he can't stand by. Oh, shit. That's that's The Equalizer 2. I mean, The Equalizer 1. See? Live podcast. We record live. Here we go. The Equalizer 2. Robert McCall serves an unflinching justice for the exploited and oppressed. But how far will he go when that is someone he loves? All right, after the little faux pas, I was like, hold on, that's not this movie. Rashanii, what do you think about this film?
I'm glad that it gave a backstory to The Equalizer 1, because I was not the only person, I'm sure, who was wondering why this killer was working in Home Depot. I enjoyed it. It's another good summer movie. It's just a good summer movie featuring Denzel. But I did have a few questions, as always. If I didn't, I wouldn't be me. But by and large, it was serviceable. It was better than Skyscraper.
Oh, it's way better than Skyscraper. This is actually a good film. I mean, for what it is, it's a good film. Mm-hmm. I mean, the plot, especially some of the subplots, kind of fall flat for me. But I mean, you come to this. If you go to see Equalizer 2, you want to see Denzel be. To me, okay, the two best parts of Denzel in this part of his career is he plays a middle-aged black man so good. Like his mannerisms is so like Southern middle-aged black man. Or, I mean, I guess any middle-aged black man, but to me, especially Southern middle-aged black man. Even though he's supposed to be from Boston. But and then also to see him kick ass. Now you can tell he slowed down because some of the camera shots, they were doing some real quick edits in the action scene, which was telling me it either wasn't him or it wasn't going as fast as he usually used to. But that still didn't take away from the action in this movie, and I really, really enjoyed it.
I thought that the action scenes, as always, when he pulled out his watch, I was like, it's go time. I really liked the way the story was written initially. The main villain can be seen from a mile away. I literally leaned over to my wife. Yeah. As soon as I saw the main villain, I was like, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, as soon as he walked on the screen. Same thing I said.
Yeah. He just looks like a bad guy. And is that the dude who played the guy who got killed by the mountain in Game of Thrones? That was the other thing I was supposed to go look up last night and completely forgot because I walked.
Let me see. Yeah, that was him over at Martell.
Okay, just making sure. Yep. I had some questions about, like you said, some storylines that literally just didn't get closed the way they're supposed to get closed. Like Miles being a part of the gang, and then Denzel coming in and doing his Denzel thing, and them not following him back out to try and fight him. But then I realized something real quick. Black folks are the only people who are smart enough to know that if this one person just beat up like 5 or 6 people in a row, I'm not jumping in.
Right.
So that's a thing.
They did that good too, because they was all looking around like, how the fuck did he get up here?
They asked, like, y'all know this fool? Y'all know this old man? No, I don't know this old man. But then the dudes came in because they was about to get up and come in, but then everybody he beat up on the way in came in. And then it just faded away. Like, we're okay, we're good. We're gonna beat you up for getting beat up because we're not gonna try and fight him and get beat up. I really liked the storyline between him and Miles. I really like the fact that now, because I was wondering who is he going to equalize? Like how is he going to find a case now, and to find out that he's advertising for Lyft, and just solving people's problems anonymously was good. It did seem like in every scene that he beat somebody up, the black person didn't want none, which is always wise. Which goes again to show that black folks are the smartest people in the movies. Because the young black kid, when the girl got put into the car, the young black kid or biracial kid, maybe, I don't know, black. He didn't want no parts. He was sitting on the couch like, I really liked his friend. I thought that their relationship, even though it was brief,
Sam, the old guy.
No, the lady.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though their relationship seemed like it was just drawn up, because I feel like they didn't expect there to be a sequel for this movie, for the Equalizer 1. I feel like they didn't expect it to do as well as it did. Mm-hmm. So they had to drop a sequel real quick and make a backstory.
Well, they already said that about this film. So I just saw an article from the Hollywood Reporter, and it was like, Equalizer 2 beats out Mamma Mia 2 at the box office this weekend. What a surprise. And I'm like, who's surprised? I'm not surprised.
I don't know anybody who even knows. I don't know anybody who saw Mamma Mia Part 1. When you tell me about Mamma Mia, I start thinking about No Limit Soldiers. So it was unfortunate. The thing that had to happen, I'm trying not to spoil this one since we're doing it quick and easy. It was unfortunate.
Oh, no, we do spoilers. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It was unfortunate that that the lady had to die the way she died. Oh. And he figured it out like dang near immediately.
I figured it out immediately.
Everybody did. That dude he looked like a smarmy piece of dick.
He looked like that, and she was whipping them two dudes' ass. There's no way I believe they killed her.
Mm-hmm. And when the door closed, it's like, okay, she made it out.
Yeah, when she was dead, I was like, oh, something else must have happened. They ain't killed her. Because they would have showed it.
Mm-hmm. So they were showing her whooping their ass up and down the block. Mama!
Which, by the way, by you saying this, I just want to bring this up. I text Rashanii when I was in the movies, and this, along with some other things, made me realize just how often we go to the movies. When you go to the movies as much as us and see as many movies as we do, you can pick up on this stuff really, really quickly. Right. And it doesn't take away from the movie for me if it's a good movie, but you pick it up quickly. Whereas, like, I'm in the audience and, like, no one else gets what's going. Like, when they did the reveal that, in my theater, that Dave York, the bad guy, his character, killed Susan, I was like, and it was like a gas. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, y'all didn't see this coming? And then the other thing that made me realize this was before the film is I go to the movies all the time. They play the same goddamn trailers before every film. Now, when I go see screeners, they don't usually play trailers, which is good, but you just go right into the film. But when I go to the regular movies, they play obviously play the trailers, and they play the same goddamn trailer. Every once in a while, it's like one new trailer or something like that, but usually it's the same trailers. So I done seen like Creed 2 and the fucking Back to School movie with Kevin Hart, and I've seen them trailers like 7,000 times. And so I'm in Equalizer 2, and my theater is dying laughing at this Kevin Hart trailer. And I'm like, first of all, that means I'm definitely in a theater with black people. And then secondly, this must be their first time seeing this trailer, because it's really not a lot of TV spots for that film. So this must be their first time seeing this full-length trailer of this film, which means they ain't going to the movie. They came to this movie to see Denzel, which leads to my third point in that whole article about it being a surprise. I'm like, Denzel films make money. And here's the thing. I don't know why y'all are surprised, because white people love Denzel Washington. It's not just us. They love him. They go see his movie. He is one of the black actors that does not act white, but the white people love him. He plays black ass characters in most of his movies, and white people love him. They go see his movies. So I don't know why it was a surprise, but there are black people who will show up at the movie theaters, especially middle-aged black women, to see Denzel Washington. And that my movie theater was filled with that.
And then the movie Nobody's Fool came up. The trailer for that came up, and the folks next to me were laughing and everything. And the more I see it, it's like hearing Flavor Flav's 911 is a joke. The more you hear it, outside of Tiffany Haddish, who's always awesome, and I was wavering on it anyway because of Tiffany. But the more you see it, the funnier you see other things. It's like seeing a movie 4 or 5 times, except it's a trailer. Right. Now I get to appreciate Whoopi Goldberg and the other young lady, but not the main star, because she seems like the straight person in this movie. And Omari Hardwick.
He's been in a lot of stuff recently.
Recently, yeah. But they were like, what's the name of this trailer? What's the name of this movie? I really want to see it. And without even looking up, I was like, Nobody's Fool.
Here's the thing. I know we're getting a little off topic, but I have been on a Tyler Perry ban for a long time. Mm-hmm. And personal ban. Because I still want him to make those movies, even though they're not for me. But this one, I'm like wavering on if I want to see this film because I do like Tiffany Haddish a lot. But I'm in my back of my mind. I'm going to go to this film.
I just cautionary tale about that. I like Taraji P. Henson. I like her a lot. She didn't save Acrimony.
Oh, you saw that? I didn't go see that.
Yeah, we saw it. I can't even front. I was about to say my wife wanted to see it, but in all honesty, Movie Pass. We went and saw it and left out with more questions than we had answers. I had questions about the Equalizer 2, even though it was like we said, it was a really good movie, really good. I mean, like honestly, the rating I'm gonna give it is it's parallel to a good movie for the summer. But I had questions that really took me out. Like at the end of the movie where they were having the scene in the hurricane, mm-hmm. Where that guy, where he decided to go up on top of the tower with a sniper rifle and start shooting in a hurricane with a sniper rifle.
That's a horrible idea for somebody who's supposed to be ex-military.
Yeah, from like 400 yards away with a sniper rifle in a hurricane. Nah.
I think the point of it is, I think they were trying to say, look how badass this dude is. He's going to go up with a sniper rifle in the hurricane. But then he started missing shit because it's a fucking hurricane.
And admits it. And the thing is, not only does he go up there and start missing stuff and admitting it, but then when they show you what he's looking at through the Skype or through the sights, he has the reticule. He has a target right on the thing he's shooting at, which I saw a show called Top Shot a while back. I loved that show when it was out, and all it was folks who were great shots taking shots with guns from all over the place and using crossbows and all that kind of stuff. And the one thing they talked about more than anything else was the wind direction.
Right.
And how the wind was going to alter it depending on the speed. And they were like, if the speed of the wind is like 2 miles faster than it usually is, you're going to have to shift about, 4 to 5 feet. Nigga, you were in a hurricane.
You don't know what that bullet's about to do, bro. You could have shot your own people.
Turned around and shot yourself.
The other thing, I had a question too. So I'm watching this film, and I'm like, okay, who is this old man? Like, not who is this old man, but like, what is this whole thing about this painting? Like, I'm so confused when I was watching. I was like, I just felt like it didn't have any point. It wasn't supposed to show like his humanity, but you could have showed that with the Miles storyline. So I'm not sure what. I mean, I like Orson Bean. He's a good actor, but I just don't know why that was in the movie.
I feel like that's something they put in afterwards when they realized this movie ain't long enough.
Oh yeah, yes.
So even with that whole thing put in there, the movie chugs along at like maybe an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. It's not
2 hours and 1 minute.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like it because it's smooth.
It didn't feel like it at all.
Oh, it's a smooth movie. It's a smooth watch.
I really enjoy Denzel. I think that needs to be said over and over again. I enjoy Denzel no matter what he's doing. And to see him on a train wearing his old Malcolm X looking outfit with the beard and everything, he's like, oh, he about to fuck somebody up overseas. And to find out that he's doing this stuff out of the goodness of his heart, like he sees the young lady he rescues and he tells her, be quiet, don't say nothing. Luckily,
that was good.
Recognize that he was telling her to shut the fuck up. It was a good movie. It was warming to the heart, and it was hilarious when it was from the trailer, but folks hadn't seen the trailer, so they were laughing at the point when he was like, "Y'all killed my friend, and so I'm gonna kill all of y'all." And I'm just mad that I can't do it more than once. Everybody was laughing. I was like, man, that's part from the trailer. I'm not gonna throw it off for nobody else.
I also liked how the Miles storyline with him not being a gangbanger. I like how they made him an artist, because generally, like the alternate is like, you're too smart to be in the gang. Not that this wasn't, but it's like, you're too smart to be in the gang. You could be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. And you don't often see like the black artists in film. So especially young black man, you don't see that archetype often. So I really liked how they were like, oh no, this dude draws and he paints and he's good as shit at it, and he can make a living doing that too, which is, one of those things that isn't really said a lot.
I really liked how it seemed like he wasn't even close to the hard one in his family. Like, even the gang members were like, yeah, we need to get revenge for your brother, and you're going to be the one to do it. And it just sang out to me for so many reasons, like the point where Denzel was like, can you read? And he handed him that book, and he kind of stumbled, like he slowed down for a second looking at the book, and I was like, please let this nigga know how to read.
Mm-hmm. He knows how to read.
And he knocked it out, and I was like, yes, it was a small victory, but in my movie theater, it was a big victory, because I know them white folks were like, can he read, Silas?
But here's the funny part about that. You know how many black people I could give a book and they couldn't say Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Exactly.
I already know. Not just black people. That's not a... I'm not even going to knock anybody. If I've never heard of him before, that's not an easy name to just read phonetically and say. It's not an easy name. It's a good book, though, but the book that he gave him, but it's not an easy name. And I also liked how much they emphasized how much Denzel reads, which is another thing goes back to my old black man. The way he walked in this movie, the way he talked with that accent, the verbiage that he used, it was just such a, 50-year-old, 55-year-old. It was like, it mended, his Fences character with, an assassin. Because when he wasn't fucking people up, he was basically playing a less problematic version of his Fences character. And I really enjoyed that part as well. What do you think about the action scenes in this film?
I thought that the action scenes all made sense, except and I have to really look, and maybe Mythbusters can do a story about it or something like that. But if you cut bags of flour and somebody throws a flashbang grenade into the room where the flour's at, does the flour ignite and blow your face off?
I don't think it was flour. I think it was supposed to be, since they're going to the bakery, he tricks them into thinking it's flour, but it was something that's explosible. That's not the word.
Explosive.
It's explosive. What am I talking about?
Explosible. Word. I'm about to adopt that word like a mug. Oh.
I think it was supposed to be something that was explosive, and it was hiding as if it was flour. That's what I got from when I was watching it. It was like the Home Alone shit where he sets up his home because the people are coming. That type of shit. That's what I got from it, but I could be wrong. You could be right.
It was also dope seeing the scene where he has a secret room and watching Miles not be strong, because most times people will go in there and they'll just be quiet and Miles is freaking out.
Which is how somebody would act.
Because I would have freaked out. I can't breathe in here, man. Just be quiet. Turn off your phone. Turn off the light. Be quiet. I can't. I'm hot.
And they saw his ass in there, too. That earring.
Man,
That was a really good tense scene. That scene was actually pretty tense in my theater.
it was very.
And they thought he got away, and I was like, this is the bad part in so many movies, because everybody in my theater thought he got away, and I'm like, that's not how storytelling works though, because you need something. He's not going to get away because you introduced this character as somebody that he cares about. So it's going to be the situation where he's going to be used as a pawn to get Robert out. Like, I knew that was going to happen, so I figured that they were going to get him somehow, and he walked out and they got him. But that's just good. That's you can say it's a trope, but it's also a good storytelling technique as well. So I didn't mind that at all. Anything you didn't like about this film?
The things I didn't like are, like I said, the hurricane scene. I just thought that was, like, the wind could have been accounted for better. And then the fact that he literally sat that, like, my wife pointed out the fact that as he was driving across the bridge, there was like a traffic jam behind him, or a traffic jam going against him, trying to get off the island. And he was like, I left my gas on, so they let him through. But then when the other folks pulled up to the island, there was nobody there, and there was nobody helping out with the evacuation or anything, which happened just a few moments later. And so nobody was there to watch that dude get shot in the side of the head. The other issue that I had was after all the action scenes in the hurricane scene, which were all pretty much dope, honestly. They were all like, he sits down right in front of a glass bay window on the coast where there's a hurricane, and just watches the water that was ripping over the top of that freeway, just watches the water get close to his house but never actually touch it. That was the other thing that got me. I was like, okay, if this is a hurricane and they're telling you to evacuate, they're not going to let you back onto the island, first of all. Secondly, they're just going to be like, your house going to have to blow up, homie. Secondly, you wouldn't be sitting at a bay window. You'd be down in the cellar somewhere. But I think that the more I think about it, the more I realize that they avoided that by not saying it was a hurricane. They just said that a really big storm was coming.
Right.
So they covered all their bases.
Yeah. I did notice that this was a small cast. There's only like a few people with a good amount of screen time. It's very heavily focused on Denzel. He completely carries this film. Carries this film. And he carries with his action. He carries with his acting, his facial expressions. Like, he's phenomenal in this film. He definitely did not phone this in. I was afraid he was going to phone it in. Like, I thought this was just going to be a sequel at his age, just a good payday for him. But he didn't phone this in. He really doesn't phone anything in, which I don't know why I assumed that, but I kind of was just getting that vibe from this film, because to be honest, when I heard about this, I was like, I'll go see it, but whatever. But as it got closer and closer, I was like, yeah, I want to see this film. I really want to see this film. And then it was worth going to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying he really carries this film.
Even though he does, like, completely, the supporting characters in this film were all really well done. The Muslim lady who was working, who was doing the gardening, small
Fatima.
part, but just Fatima, small part, but just handled it. I mean, just helped to build a realistic place, a realistic world. Susan's husband helped to build a realistic world. Wrote a book. Wife doesn't like it. Wife thinks it's boring as hell. Nobody wants to read the book. It just helped to build this world around it. And then the MVPs to me of the minor characters, I'm not talking about like Miles or anything like that. I'm talking about super minor characters, were the daughters and the wife. And how after Denzel told them, I'm gonna kill each and every one of y'all, he walked right back in there.
That was such a slick way to get out of there.
Exactly.
Dave said, "You give me a ride back home." Oh yeah, come on. And he knew they couldn't do shit then. That was so slick. That was
I was impressed by dang near every opportunity that Denzel had with supporting characters, because it felt like this was just me. This was just me as a child of military folks and a long line of military people. One of the things that touched me the most in this movie was when he was driving in his Lyft, sponsored by Lyft. This movie, by the way, was sponsored by Lyft and Metro PCS, because those are the only two things that they actually showed the name of throughout the movie. Yeah, I paid attention to that kind of stuff. It was weird. But as he was driving people back and forth in his Lyft, there was a woman who got accepted for a job or accepted into college. That was dope. But the best moment was where the kid was talking to his family about how he didn't know where he was getting stationed at, but he knew where he was getting stationed at. And he was like, well, he knew, but he was like, you don't really get a choice on where you get stationed at. And I don't think his parents really were too pleased with where he got stationed at. And then Denzel was like, where'd you get stationed at? And he was like, Iraq. And Denzel was quiet for a second. He was like, well, I'll be here waiting to take you home when you get back. And I teared up.
Yeah, that was good.
Just that quiet, supportive moment, where this kid is scared was so much. And it just spoke so many volumes as to the type of character that Denzel was aspiring to be in this movie. And I think he hit every single opportunity. Like, he was literally like, he be that dude in the neighborhood who just walks around and knows everybody and just helps out where he can, because that's who he played in this movie. And it was perfect.
Yeah, I agree. So let's finish this out. What's your favorite scene in this film? And then what's your score?
My favorite scene in this film is where that nigga got shot in the face with a fucking harpoon. Nigga. Oh, I yelped. It was a good yelp too. I didn't even see that coming. When he got shot in the face with a harpoon, that was dope. Because it would have been the part where he figures out where the bullet came from and who shot who and whatever. But I see that so often in Luke Cage. Missy Knight did that over and over again. So it's kind of like, okay, I've seen this before. But seeing that nigga get shot in the face with a harpoon was just so choice. It was fetch. I give this movie overall a 7 out of 10.
My favorite scene was the car scene where the dude tried to sneak up on him in the lift.
Oh, I forgot about that
and
scene.
He basically was driving this car and fucking this dude up at the same time. It was so good. That scene was just so good how he was just doing that. And by the way, up until the final fight scene, he didn't take one punch the whole movie. Mm-hmm. Not one. So I noticed. I've particularly noticed that, and he only got hit like twice in that final fight scene. But all the way up until the final fight scene, nobody got a lick on him.
I take my back when that nigga got ravaged with them 2 knives, dude. Like, chop, 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 chop.
He was good.
Ain't there, hell has no fury like Denzel, who is going after somebody who killed his friend. See Man on Fire.
Yes.
More information.
And this is a 7.5 for me. I really enjoyed the film. You should go see it. It's a good time. Go with your wife or significant other or older children. They will enjoy this film. Denzel's great in it. It's a fun time. It's not the best movie ever, but it never was supposed to be. It's exactly what it was supposed to be, and it delivers on that. But thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week with Mission Impossible 6, Teen Titans Go movie. And then some more movies in August coming after that. So thank you guys for listening. Talk to you later.
And I'ma keep smoking and drugs. My life's like a movie. She fucks with nothing but thugs. My life's like a movie.